on a second. Okay. How are y'all doing? Welcome again to another 5-minute Bible study, where a 5-minute journey of faith through the Scriptures can change your life. We are trying some new things, new places, and new ways of doing our 5-minute Bible study. So that's why the delay from yesterday. We didn't post. We were trying a few things out. So hopefully we've got all this worked out, and we are going to start back to posting every day. Maybe not as refined as it was, but we're going to be doing this nonetheless. So I'm glad y'all are here. We're going to continue in our journey in the Gospel of Mark. We're going to look at Mark chapter 3, starting at verse 13. This is where Jesus in the Gospel of Mark appoints his 12 disciples to their ministry. So this is what it says. It says, Jesus went up on a mountainside and called to him those he wanted. And they came to him. He appointed 12 that they might be with him and that he might send them out to preach and to have authority to drive out demons. These are the 12 he appointed. Simon, to whom he gave the name Peter, James, son of Zebedee, and his brother John. To them he gave the name Boanerges, which means sons of thunder. Andrew, Philip, Bartholomew, Matthew, Thomas, James, son of Alphaeus, Thaddeus, Simon the Zealot, and Judas Iscariot, who would betray him. What's interesting about this passage is we have Mark's understanding of the call of the 12. And the 12 would be the famous followers of Jesus who would go with him everywhere he went during his time in ministry. We have the 3 who were really close to Jesus. They're James, John, and Peter, and then the rest. And it's interesting to me that he appoints them to go out and to preach the gospel, to preach the good news of Jesus Christ, and to also drive out demons. To have authority, the same authority that Jesus had. He would appoint these 12 to go do this. He called them. And I also find it interesting that the reason he called them is because it says he wanted them. These are the people, these are the men that he wanted to carry out his ministry, to carry out his mission as his disciples. And so the question for you and me is this. Are we living our lives as those who are called by Christ? If we're followers of Christ, then we've been called by Christ. And are we living our lives as ones who are called? Are we ones who will go out with authority to preach the gospel, to live the gospel, and to drive out demons? And what I mean by driving out demons, yes, there's the spiritual aspect of this, the spiritual demons aspect of this, but there's also this idea that we have authority to go out and to drive out injustice and evil wherever it presents itself in the world. And so you and I have that authority if we are followers of Christ. We don't have to wait for it. It doesn't have to come upon us at a certain time. If we put our trust in Christ, we have that authority. The second question is, or are we like Judas, the one who would be called by Jesus to carry out his mission, but will forever be known as the one who betrayed Jesus? I don't want to be that way. I want to be called, and I want to go, and I want to listen, and I want to be obedient. I don't want to be called and then betray. And so these are the questions that are left up to you and to me, and how we will live our lives as followers of Jesus. Friends, you're called if you are following him. Go and preach the gospel wherever you are. I look forward to seeing you next time on 5-Minute Bible Study.